Hello, people. If anybody's there, so simultaneously do this TikTok live. It is the 25th. It is 8:02. Hi, buddy. Guess we have to wait until 8:03. Aha, there we go. Simultaneously live on multiple platforms. Here we go. Oh, ah. So we're live on TikTok and we're live on YouTube because TikTok gets canceled. Although it's apparently very hard to set up the, I'll just pull that little plug out. There we go. Hi, everybody. Hello. At least one, anyway. Gonna make some steak tacos tonight. Wonder if people will join us. Sometimes we get lots of people. I am live on YouTube as well simultaneously because this is inevitably going to get banned on TikTok. So I ran it up on YouTube as well. So we're live on both places. If you're not on the YouTube, go to the YouTube because that probably won't get canceled. Or I hope it won't anyway. And I'm making some steak tacos. Made turkey tacos today. Cool. Making some carne asada style tacos. Steak. We got taco stuff here somewhere. Taco seasoning. We package of taco seasoning. Gonna make it with some bell peppers and stuff. Shrimp taco. Not tonight. Tonight is steak tacos. Last time we did shrimp tacos. Tonight we're doing some steak tacos. Carne asada style. He's gonna open our steak over here. You see, yep, I'm not banned for like the next 10 minutes, I think, and then they'll probably try to ban me again. Whatever, this time I'm on YouTube. There's like one person on YouTube right now watching, two, I guess. Yeah, because people really hate me. Kelly Crew, I guess, is one of the big ones that tries to get me canceled, and that chick that I went addressed the other day, something dating coach. Both of whom like tried to call the place I'm contracted with at work to try to like, it's like, I'm the highest level person that speaks English. You can't get me there, dumbass. But that's the way these people are when they can't engage what you have to say on an intellectual level. They try to keep you from existing. So they don't have to deal with it because they are very weak. So it is what it is. It's not like this is, I mean, I enjoy this. It's kind of cool. But it's not like this is my livelihood. That's actually why I had to turn it off a creator account. Like I got banned from being a creator account. How big am I? Like how tall? About a half inch over 6 feet. I don't think I have short man syndrome. I'm about average. Deep insecurity by expressing extreme masculinity. Huh? Extreme man? Bro, don't you love it when short men can't really say anything and get labeled as angry or short? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Hi, Lamb. I'm on YouTube too. Overcompensating baseball. I don't know what you're trying to say. That was like part of a sentence. Are you trying to say I'm insecure, so I'm being extremely masculine, which is I don't know. That sounds more like a compliment than tell the truth, but okay. So I have mixed olive oil, lime, garlic, taco seasoning, and some carne asada seasonings in with the strip steak. No, I know you're not calling me. I missed the first part of that. Now I saw it, and I think you're right. A lot of people always seem to address anything that you're trying to say, and they try to discredit it as some form of compensation. So if you're not terribly tall, they're always going to try to discredit it as being short. And it's like, hey, the half inch counts in many kinds. What you're making strip steak tacos? Are you a psychologist? I have studied professionally and academically psychology. My primary degree is anthropology. I was banned from the live. I literally got unbanned 1 moment ago. What's going on, Alabama? I'm also on YouTube, so join us on YouTube. TikTok makes me look shorter. Apparently, everybody's saying that. So I'm 6 feet and just a hair over. You know what's funny? I was not 6 feet until I was 25, a little over. I was 5'10" all the way through the Marine Corps. And now I blame being in the infantry and the heavy packs and shit. But 2 years after I was out, when I went to the Navy for a physical, because I was in the college on the NESEP program, lady says, "You're 6 feet." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm 5'10". And she looked at me like, "What?" And I'm like, no, I'm 5'10". And she goes, "Okay." So she goes to get another scale. She's saying, "No, you're 6 feet." And I'm like, "I'm not, though." Then she gets a tape measure. "You are 6 feet." And I'm like, "I wanted to be 6 feet for years and I wasn't. I thought I'd never get there." She's like, "Yeah, it often happens." What do you do for a living that trying to ruin you? That's the funny part. I do hazmat consulting. I do hazmat and the intersection of hazmat and tactical interactions, because I've got both the tactical training and hazmat rescue. And it sometimes, like if you've got a SWAT team that has to do a lot of interactions like meth houses, I can teach you how to use that equipment and the tactics that apply to that. And I also I manage a chemical plant that makes specialty chemicals for lithium-ion batteries. Well, thank you. I do work out some. What causes? I don't know. I guess I just had a slight late inch and a half. I guess. Like your contact. Wait a minute. Going back. People respect your hesitancy with therapy. I'm not going to let go. That's okay. Look. Where is it? Unintentional advice. We are just having an argument. I want you to understand that the comments on TikTok do not allow for a lot of expression. So now I did think you did kind of a shitty attempt at virtue signaling there with the whole Katrina thing, which was stupid because my disaster response thing goes there. But I don't. It's okay. It's not an attack on your well, it sounds like an attack. It is kind of an attack, but it's a recognition that modern therapists, many of them are not very great, and there's not a feedback mechanism. I feel like they're set up for failure, but you can, the tonality is gone in the TikTok comments. So it's okay for us to disagree. We're just having a disagreement. That's okay. Yeah, I clean up the toxic shit, right? I haven't max benched in a long time. I tend to work with dumbbells rather than barbells because it gives you much more of a flexion through, and allows, when you're doing a barbell, it doesn't allow for the proper angle. So I work with lighter weights. I'd rather connect more than just go for sheer amounts of weight. So right now I do 115-pound dumbbells, and I'm going for 5 sets of 20 with that. I have not watched Predestination. Fun of the time. Thank you very much. Video on social media. I do not have any kids. It's a bad example. It's unintentional. Don't stress it. We're disagreeing. It's all right. Make a Twitch. I don't do any like video games or something. I thought that's what Twitch was. Let me get to cooking this, guys, because I'm kind of falling behind the curve over here. So these are our roasted red bell peppers. I'm almost out in this can. I'm going to get another. I like to put those in with the guacamole and the onions. I think that makes a really good contrasting flavor with these tacos. Right. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people are very, I mean, you know, you're going after somebody's livelihood. It's natural for them to address that situation. I mean, any human being would be normally defensive. You have to be. It's your profession. But I have a lot of, you know, after I anthropology and psychology, I got into manufacturing. I study a lot of that stuff. I tend to view the world with that perspective. And in manufacturing, of course, you have quality analysis, right? So you constantly have this feedback on the products that you're making. And I feel like therapists are set up for failure because they don't have that feedback mechanism. You're right, and that a lot of it isn't fair because it depends on an exterior person, which is the client, to participate actively and correctly in the therapeutic process. But there's a lot of therapists that are just kind of like, you know, blindly shotgunning out there whatever fad drivel they read on this month's Psychology Today. And, you know, there's so many, especially in the marriage counseling field, that have this sort of anti-male perspective, and there's a narcissist around every corner and everybody's gaslighting. And it's like, that's just not, it's not a realistic comprehension of the situation, and it needs to be addressed and reined in. You don't agree? That's okay. Therapy be tricky. The client isn't being completely, absolutely. I look like a traffic cop, like Frosty the Snowman. Toasted pumpkin seeds. Interesting. Dog has something to say. Yeah. Post on YouTube. Watch. Okay. I'm happy again. Good. I love me not. Massive amount. Yeah, there's a lot of hate. I left my toxic hate. That is awesome. Love me not. That's great. I'm gonna watch Predestination. I haven't got to it yet. Is all. It's been, you know, a couple of busy weeks. Let me get this started. So we want our pan, we want our oil to be hot enough that it's sizzling before you put the steak in. For chicken, you want it a little bit cooler because you want it to cook longer. Steak, you kind of want to sear, but you want to sear it to get a little char on the outside, but still be juicy on the inside. So you want to cook it quickly so that it doesn't juice out. You don't want to cook it for a long time because that's when you get that dry chewiness. We said, yeah, me too, Lim. Thanks, honey. I was still I'm thinking about what you said last night. I think there's some fun to be had there. But we would have to talk about what that looked like, and, you know, what there were some expectations and stuff in there to make sure that we were on the same page. I'm going to do the red peppers in a second pan. Meantime, while that's cooking, I'm going to mix up. I've got a small bit of avocado. I'm going to mix up some quick guacamole and a quick spicy drizzle. Thank you, everybody. I miss talking to you all, honestly. I have such a busy life that I end up, you know, sort of, and all of my friends are in other states. I have these wonderful, wonderful friends, but they're in Utah, in Ohio, in Hawaii, you know, or my closest friend, one of my best friends, one of my dearest friends, but she's way down in Modesto. And she's been handling, she works for Cal OES, Offices of Emergency Services. And she actually called me tonight, and I didn't get a chance to call her back. But, you know, with COVID and all, everybody's just been super busy. I miss I know gas is the best. I don't think I could stand an electric stove anymore. Getting nice and hot there. You need a touch of oil in the other pan. Just a little bit. You all know the beauty of cast iron. It gets better the more you use it when you use it properly. It's good to add oil to preheated cast iron. It likes it nice and runny. I like to make sure I get the entire bottom covered up. 5 days a week, and Dr. Mark Baker is a regular monthly guest. That's cool. Shit, missed it. Wow, that's a little bit too big. I don't want that big chunk. I think a lot of people are very invested in psychology, but you can see, like from that thing that I posted about how people, they will read something that was a psychological study. They're like, look, this proves something. And you're like, it used 64 people. It didn't prove anything. And those people were, you know, that person's classmates. It's like, hi, Anna. Yeah, I remember you a little bit. Single father TikTok? I would love to. I am not, unfortunately, a father. I would have loved to have been, but that was not in the cards. Although, you know, I got a date on Saturday. I guess it's not all the way out of the card. I just feel like at this stage of my life, I'm kind of too old to start. Although if I found like the right woman, built the right relationship, I think I would like to adopt kids. I think there's a lot of kids out there that are good kids. And I would love to say to them, you know, you weren't a mistake. You just showed up at the wrong address. 2MPD, abusive relationships, and now counsel. Well, why were you drawn to narcissists would be my first question. 83% of the population is what? Sorry, back. I do agree, misinterpreting. Oh, yeah. Buford T. Justice. Relationships going as fast as they could. Can you repeat it? A story about relationships going as fast as they could. Oh, Anna, I got it. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, let me get that. Okay, so this is a thing. This is a story that I tell to people west of the border who are feeling like they've been single forever. They feel like they're giving up hope. You know, like, where's my person? And this is a story I tell them. This is a story. So everybody listen up if you out there on your own. There's this small town sheriff. And he's exactly what you picture. You know, he's kind of the quintessential guy. He's got the Smokey Bear hat. And he's got this favorite place. He waits for speeders. And he waits there because he gets people on the highway that are out of towners. So he's giving tickets to people that aren't electing him, right? And so it's a day, and he goes and he waits by this sign. You know, he's kind of hidden in a spot. And it's a miserable fucking day. It's long, and it's hot, and it's a small town, so, you know, they only got the 2 stupid radio stations, and they're just playing crap. And he's sitting there roasting in his fucking car all day long. Just hours are just crawling by. Nothing's happening. He feels useless and pointless. He feels like he's not getting anything done. He wishes something would happen. He's like restless and bored and agitated. It's just a dog-ass day. Hour after hour after hour going by with nothing happening. Nothing happening. Nothing happening. Nothing happening. It's just miserable. The sun is at noon. And he waits for like 6 hours. And he's thinking, okay, it's got to be. And he looks down, and it's like 1:15, right? He calls his dispatcher. There's nothing going on in town. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's hiding from the heat. He's stuck in it because the goddamn air conditioner's car not working. Hours and hours and hours and hours go by. And finally, the sun is low in the sky. It's afternoon, is heading into evening. And his patience is just out, you know. He feels like he's given this his day. He's done what he's supposed to do. And he says, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. I quit. I'm going back in. And he starts up his car. And he puts it in drive. And just at that moment, out of fucking nowhere, just out of nowhere, this little red car comes screaming by. Just break the fucking sound barrier fast. Boom! And his car goes, holy shit. And he sits there for just the briefest moment because it was so surprising. He came by so fast. And he's like, I got this one. And he flips his car into drive and he turns on the lights and he jumps out behind the car. And he gets behind the little red car and he pulls it over. And he gets out, he walks up, and he looks down over the top of his glasses and he says, lady, I've been waiting for you all day. And she looks up at him and says, but I got here as fast as I possibly could. And it's a little bit funny, but the whole point of this big story, you're looking for someone really great. And the thing is that there's out there someone who's looking for you. And they're trying to find you as fast as they can. You think you're ready. You're like, I'm doing all this shit. Where is my fucking person, man? But they're at somewhere else doing the same thing. Or maybe right now they're in a miserable shit relationship. Or maybe they're in a relationship that feels good and is going to turn to shit. But they're trying to get to you as fast as they can. And if they haven't got to you yet, if they haven't found you or you haven't found them, it's because they still got some shit to go through. Or maybe you still got some shit to go through. Right? Maybe there's something you got to learn that you're going to be perfect for them, or there's something they got to go through to be perfect for you. Because perfect for you does not mean a life without any challenges. It doesn't mean a life without any struggle. In fact, relationships that go through some shit are much better than relationships that have never encountered anything. Because you know you can rely on that person to have your back. But it does mean that they're perfectly equipped to go through that shit with you. Right? So if you haven't found your person, don't lose faith. Keep the faith. Because they're coming for you. They're coming for you. They're looking for you. And they're trying to get there just as fast as they can. Just like you're trying to get to them. Just as fast as you can. There you go. What's cooking is steak tacos. By the way, somebody asked. I'm kind of fucking this up because got to talking to you all, so these aren't quite as gourmet as they should be. We'll get there, right? So I made a little chipotle drizzle here. That's what I'm mixing right now, which is just sour cream with some chipotle powders and stuff. Zeus is right there. He's walking around. All right, let me put this stuff back in. Let me get the tortillas. We got us some tortillas. No, Zeus, you can't have a tortilla. You probably can later have a tortilla. Zeus had to get chewed out again today and told that he was not the goodest boy because he got stuff off the counter and ate it while I was at work. Not the goodest boy. That's right, guilty face. He has such a guilty face. He always looks like such a struggle. I meant to be the goodest boy. I couldn't help it. Come say hi. Come say hi. Jump up. Jump up. Oops. Come on. Jump up. There's Zeus. There's his head. You weren't the wrong package. You just showed up at the wrong address. Is this what you... That is, yeah, that is what I said about adopting kids. I think that I would be really great. Oops, shit. Overcooking my red peppers. Screwed that up. Oh well. I always thought, I mean, I don't know. I was never adopted. What the fuck do I know? But that seemed to me to be something worth saying to a kid who might feel like they didn't have a place. You know, I don't know. I'm doing the best I can with limited information here. All right. Where's my tortilla? Oh, here. I'll get our tortillas out. I burned my red peppers a little bit, but that just makes them smokier. Crispy red peppers is right. You should try working out. Well, you know, it's got my performance goals. I don't work out to be skinny. I just don't. My goals. Well, this year I'm going to get a lot more athletic. Last year was a lot about deadlifting. It was I wanted to get to a 600-pound deadlift. What happened to the list of things to bring to an island video? Wanted to share. It wasn't really. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Say package different words, so I wanted to ask. Yeah, I don't know. Anna, that it was just a line. Yes, I was in the Marine Corps. Oh, you're kidding. I'm a little fluffy this year. I'm not usually quite so fluffy. My thing last year was a lot of heavy powerlifting. So this year I'm getting a little more athletic with my training. That's my thoughts on codependency. Do you have a more specific question? It's kind of a broad question. Hey, Shadow. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I am a little thicker right now, but I feel good about things. Heat up my tortillas straight in the burn. Yeah, usually I put them on the oven and I get a little crisp, but I'm kind of running my mouth too much right now. All right, let's get this shit on the road here. I'm hungry. Oh, y'all stop distracting me. Using your wiles, your seductive internet wiles to distract me from my tacos. Fat man has to eat, people. I mean, my God, if I don't eat and stay fat, what will all the little teenage girls have to say to me? If they can't call me fat and ugly, what retort will they possibly have? You're bald and fat. You have to be wrong. Not sure how that relates, but okay. All right, there we go. There's these. Got some seared red peppers going on. Those need a little by hand redistribution. Ooh, ooh, hot, hot. We like it hot. Hot, hot, hot. We like it hot, hot, hot. Hot chocolate. I actually really do like hot chocolate. What's on the menu? Steak tacos. That bear has to eat. Call you scrawny, obviously, right? I think it's funny when people's retort is that I'm bald. It's like, that is true. I am bald. That shit started 20 fucking years ago. It's not an insult anymore. I'll admit, if I was like 22 back in the day when it started, I was pretty self-conscious about it. Now I don't give a fuck. You know, it's like me and Jason Statham in The Rock. We're all pretty secure. Me and Vin Diesel, we're good. There's our drizzle. A nice spicy cream drizzle, just a little more right there. We got our guacamole. Ole mole, guacamole. Guac it off, man. Guac it off. All right, there we go. Throw our dishes in the sink. Let the iron cool down. Wipe this up. We'll shovel this off. Later this evening, it's trash night, so I gotta take the trash cans out. Rinse that out. We will feed a tortilla to Zeus. I saw a dog. Yes, everybody wants to see Zeus. Hold on. There's Zeus. You see him? Zeus! Come here, buddy. Come be fair. He's trying to, he's eating a tortilla over there. Come here, buddy. There you go. He's a tortilla. He's a Zeus. Yes, he's a good boy. Jesus. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? 42. Mr. McPloppy? Why would they call you Mr. McPloppy? That's a hell of a nickname. If you like pina coladas, that's stuck in my head. Caught in the rain. I'm going to move over to the counter here in a moment. Run! There's my best friend. Remember when I said my best friends were all over the fucking country? One of them just showed up. It's told to look like the love child of Robin Williams and a chimpanzee. Well, that is one hairy motherfucker because Robin Williams was a furry bastard. Robin Williams and a chimpanzee. It was a hell of a description. Wild horses stuck in my head. Well, see, when you sent that Rag, I thought you meant like that old song that played in that crappy Cape Fear movie that was like, wild horses couldn't drag me away. There we go. How are we doing? We're good? Yeah? We see? Okay. Alexa, turn off the kitchen lights.
Okay.
All right. I worked in TV news for 25 years. We had to invent our own comedy to keep going. Yeah. Here we go. What we're looking at here, I'm not to watch me eat. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Something about 8. One more body fat. You can use coconut oil. I'm not worried about it. These are good. Yes, I am aware of Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is much more into psychology and psychiatry than I am. But certainly I think that he has, some good stuff to say. All right, if you want a shitty joke, I got a shitty joke. Mr. 789. A Mexican magician comes up and he says, I'm going to disappear on the count of 3. You all wait. And he goes, 1, 2. And then he vanishes. Everybody says, oh my God, he disappeared without a trace. See, stupid joke. I bet you I get banned for that. Even though it's just a pun. Someone's going to get pissed off. Good one. Steak tacos. It's funny, this is my Mexican guy that told me that joke. A priest, a rabbi. Sorry. A priest, a rabbi, and a lawyer walk into a bar, but the clown ducks. White male, you might not get banned for, right? But they're good tacos. And that's why I'm on YouTube. So they can ban me all they want. I got a backup. Mexican approved that joke. See, we're blessed. We have the blessing. Y'all aren't on YouTube. Go on YouTube. I can tell that nobody's on YouTube. There's only 5 people on YouTube. Lim, watching both TikTok and YouTube. Lim's got me doubled up. Lim. Cheers from New Zealand. Hi, New Zealand. Thank you very much. What is New Zealand like? We always have this idea that New Zealand is all, I don't know, wide open and goat herding, but hobbit holes. See, I don't know. YouTube might be as bad, but I don't know. Somebody gave me an alternative thing to sign up on, but I'd never heard of it. I might look at it. Pretty much sheep. Well, you guys have some level of economy. I mean, you got a big port there. More sheep than people, yeah. Well, we need wool. More cows and more sheep. Apparently it's a lot of animal husbandry going on there in New Zealand. And yet, that seems like a better way to live. I might take my happy ass to New Zealand and build model railroads to sheep. These sheep. Predestination. Yeah, I think it was a movie. No COVID. Are you live on YouTube? Yes, I am currently live on YouTube as well. It has a better camera. Everybody I've ever met that's been to New Zealand has talked about how wonderful and beautiful, and the people are warm and very friendly. A crowded house. I don't think I've ever heard Crowded House. Alexa, play Crowded House.
Shuffling songs by Crowded House on Amazon Music.
This is Weather With You. That is okay for an ex to keep in touch with someone they have. That's okay. You can disagree with me. Buddha. I could do Buddha. Activate your leg. That's hilarious. Better be home soon. I'll play that next. Tacos. That's awesome. I want to be 52 still playing in a rock band. Of course, I can neither sing nor play an instrument. Should I go to college? That depends entirely on you. When I graduated high school, I did not think I was going to go to college. I didn't take SATs, ACTs. I took no entry things. I was not going to go to college. I started working first at a workers' comp place. Then I went into the Marines. I went to college after the Marines, and the Marines died. When I got to college, it was a completely different experience from high school. And I did much better in college than I did in high school academically. Now, I had the benefit of it, I worked all the way through college just to be doing something. So I delivered pizzas and I did roofing in the summers. But I played rugby and I did some MMA stuff. Just, local matches. The things that I do occupationally have nothing to do with the degrees I got in college initially. But none of my family does anything to do with the degrees they got. Like my mother got her degree in English and became an accountant. My father got a master's degree in chemistry, joined the Air Force, came out and became a lawyer. My aunt got a master's in anthropology, and she hired doctors for California prisons. God awful, but I didn't do it. That's funny. No, I totally mean wrestling teddy bears.
Well, wrestling teddy bears was more like what you did when you went over and tried to sleep with an economics major. So what I would say is if you're conflicted about college, you can always go to college later. Go out in the world and experience some shit and pick a direction. So I got my first degree. Yes, I went to my first degrees were on campus. My first degree was anthropology. And it wasn't until I got into manufacturing that I started going back and studying again and went into chemical engineering. And then at the same time, I was studying business. And I did the Six Sigma and business degree. You can always, you don't have to like do college only until you're 24. You can, I'm taking classes now. I mean, a class. But you can, what was the song? Somebody said, play a different song by this band. I don't remember what it was now. Anyway, so if you're conflicted about college, then don't start, or start working and take a class at a time or 2 classes at a time. You don't have to take a full load, and find your way. My girlfriend has been friends with her ex. I've tried to be supportive lately, but feels inappropriate. And have you talked to her? Mm-hmm. No, dream it's over is what's planned. He continues to say he wants her back. How should I handle it? Okay, so first, approach it as a learning conversation. You go up to her and say, I feel uncomfortable with the situation. At first, I was comfortable with it, but the way that he's approaching you has made me feel uncomfortable. I would like to hear from you why you find it important and emotionally connected to stay in touch with him. What do you receive from this relationship? And then it's important to shut the fuck up and listen. And let her talk about it. Better Be Home Soon. Alexa, play Better Be Home Soon.
Better Be Home Soon by Crowded House.
Yeah. And listen to what, because what will probably happen is if she's really interested in you, she will talk to you about it, and she will probably come up with the idea of cutting it off herself. And that way you didn't ask her to do it. You just talked to her about it and expressed your discomfort. Now she might double down and then she'll say something like, do you want me to not talk to him? And then you maneuver and you say, I want to understand why it is important to you to continue to keep contact with him. What are you gaining from that relationship that you need in your life? And then she'll talk about it. Maybe she reveals something to you important, but maybe she'll be like, well, I like, it feels good, or I feel sorry for him, or whatever. And say, okay, so you talk to your ex who wants you back because you feel sorry for him. He knows me at my worst and gives me advice. Okay, and you say, okay, you don't believe that we have an intimate enough relationship where you can talk to me and if you need advice. You see what I mean? Like, what is it advice? Why you feel like you need the intimacy of that relationship to get advice and you don't have someone else you can get advice from? The law of attraction, the whole think yourself rich. No, I don't believe in the law of attraction of vibrational things. I believe that people that focus on what they want are prone to, there's time to ask why they weren't together was at the beginning of the relationship. This isn't the time to ask about why they're not together. You can take it? Take it. Good boy. He broke it off with her. Okay. I would keep it in the back of your head then. That part of the reason that she maintains contact with him is to prove to herself that he wants her back and that he regrets breaking up with her, and that's just an ego trip. She may not want to get back with him. She just wants a fucking ego trip. Do I think women should have the right to vote? Yes. The law of attraction is a pseudoscientific belief that everything in the universe vibrates, and that if you focus on something that you desire and going through certain mantras and so forth, you will set your vibrational frequency to the thing that you want, and it is impossible for it not to come and vibrate with you by manifesting in your life. That's cute. I don't think guys like me with a double chin should vibrate a lot. It looks bad. I'm just coming out of a relationship with Jar Jar Binks. Misa think you should suck on my dick. What do you think about environmental gaslighting when you can't prove it and don't know who it is? I don't know what that even means. Play that ego trip shit. Worth more than that. I don't know what the ego trip shit is. Why do women believe in superstition? Lots of people believe in superstition. That's not narrowed to women. Are you taking college classes for another degree? Is this something you're just... Right now, Julie heard what? That many people believe in superstitions? Right now, I'm taking college classes that have to do with my my business, environmental stuff, because I never studied environmental stuff. So I'm getting a credential in environmental law and application, stuff like that. Certified environmental safety officer. Stay in high maintenance. Joining the military with a college degree. Well, first find yourself an officer recruiter. See if you can be an officer. Do you know what branch you want? Oh, the Jar Jar comment. Do you know what you want to do? Which branch you want to join? What you want to do when you get in? Believe in superstitious stuff more across different cultures. Well, I don't know. That's debatable. Talking about women using their ex for ego trip. Oh, to me, you are in or out. Well, I kind of agree. I was just offering that as that may be why she's talking to him. She may not even know that's why she's talking to her ex. If she processes through her emotions and comes to that realization, she may not say it out loud. I'm just telling dude that may be a reason that she's talking to her ex. That's all. Better to have a two-chin friend than a two-faced friend. I believe so, yes. You want to go into Air Force intelligence? So just, go find the Air Force, find the officer recruiter, tell them that specifically you want to be contracted into intelligence. You will need to pass a very high level background check. So that's going to pass on to like the full FBI background check where they're calling up like your second grade teacher and stuff to ask about, I don't know, did you get upset playing dodgeball? But there's no reason you can't go into Air Force intelligence. Just make sure you're directed that way. Do military wives think different than women married to normal people? No. Military wives are big ol' hoes. When I was an MP, I could park at the end of the road and watch them in the middle of the night driving to houses where a guy was because their dude was deployed to get themselves some pipe. Swinging was a very big thing in the military. I wish we could hang. Yeah. Together to piece things together. She talks to her ex to give herself permission to leave complete. Trying to piece things. Okay. Are you religious? I have a very deep faith. I mean, using the environment to gaslight, like doing certain things to get you to do things. In other words, brainwashing. Davis, I'm not following what you're saying, but when someone is gaslighting, it is common for them, like gaslighting, the term specifically came from a play in which a guy, it was in the early 1900s, and all the lights were gas, and he would slowly turn them down to make it darker and darker, and his wife would be like, it's so dark in here, and he would say, I don't know what you're talking about, you're crazy, I can see just fine. Is that what you're talking about? Because that is the quintessential definition of gaslighting. That's literally where it came from, was changing the environment and pretending something in the environment had not changed in order to get someone to question their reality. Is that what you're talking about? And make the person out there, yes, to control them. Okay, so what is your specific question? X has a lot to do with this generation. I promise you this is the way a lot of guys, like you're talking about Hacindia Arden. I don't know what that means. Yeah, Adivas. Okay, so what is your question about gaslighting? Do you California politics will change from progressive to conservatism? No. I think that there will be an increasing pressure to break the state into 2 or more independent states, one of which will be substantially more like conservative and progressive. The state of Jefferson thing will continue to grow until it becomes a reality. You want to know how to prove someone is using the environment to gaslight someone else? Are they gaslighting you, or is this like your sister's husband is gaslighting her and you want to prove it? X's has a lot to do with this generation. A lot of guys are not committing to relationships. True. Are you in outer space? Yes, I am on the space station. If you have an abusive ex, don't go back to them if they try to. Yes, absolutely. Yes, me. If you think that someone is gaslighting you, then fucking leave. Why do you want to prove it? You don't need to prove it. Either you have so totally lost faith in this person that you believe they are capable of doing that to you, in which case you should leave, or they actually are doing it to you, in which case you should leave. There's no scenario there where you believe someone is gaslighting you and you actually physically gaslighting you, then that you should stay. What do you mean it's all around me? What does that mean? Like there's multiple people gaslighting you? After being told you gaslight, how would you normally react to that? I felt like I can't respond. There isn't. If someone accuses me of that, I say, okay, then this relationship is over. Thank you for whatever we shared. I'm done with you now. Because there is no way out of that. Everything after that point will be under that narrative. And the only thing that you can do is exit. That's it. And they will either come to the realization that they were wrong, or they will, or they'll, well, now you're going to leave me to, like, no. The purpose of gaslighting is to control you. The only way that I can prove that I'm not controlling you is to leave. And you have said such an accusatory, horrifying thing to me, I don't want to be around you anymore. Either way, the only answer is for me to leave. I'm leaving. Gaslighting so what gaslighting actually is a malicious and malevolent long-term process by which one person tries to control another person by making the controllee question their own sanity. It comes from a play wherein a woman's husband kept turning the gas lights down so that she couldn't see, and then pretending there was nothing wrong and that she was going blind so that she couldn't see anything. It has become a fad pop psychology phrase for mostly women to just accuse their ex of gaslighting, because people don't have a fucking vocabulary anymore, and anything where they disagree is gaslighting, persuasion, arguing, whatever. All right. Saying that there's multiple people gaslighting you, are you in some kind of cult? What does that mean? What kind of hobbies do you have? I shoot, I work out, I build model trains. I just don't know who. That doesn't make sense. If someone, that you just sound paranoid. Either one person is doing it to you, and that would be very easy to figure out, or if you think everybody is doing it to you, then you're in some kind of cult scenario. If you're just living your life and you think multiple people are trying to control you, that is you suffering from schizophrenic or paranoia. Gaslighters often the perpetrator. Yes. I don't know why you would say Bill Gates is a master guy. I don't know. He sounds like a businessman. I don't know who. Okay, well, made mistakes, but I've never operated under the idea of control. Well, most people, gaslighting is extraordinarily rare. It has to be very deliberate and malicious. Most people are not even vaguely capable of gaslighting. I'm not in a cult. No, I'm not. It's obvious. I don't. You have a whole train track setup? I don't yet. I have the plan for it in a spare bedroom, but I haven't invested the time in building it. I'm going to start fairly soon. Tell your ex to get rid of her ex when it becomes a problem in your relationship. But I would have a learning conversation before that. That's why I'm saying, look, if your person is involved with their ex in some way and you are uncomfortable with it, don't go after them, like straight at them, because you're going to create a defensiveness. What you do is have a good faith learning conversation to find out why it's so important to them to have that contact. Find out. Do I have a favorite kind of train? Like a favorite kind of engine? Yes, a PRR Q2 4464. So it was a weird engine pumping someone up. Like, yes, you went, it's not gaslighting. Accusations against Bill Gates. I have heard a whole lot of different accusations against Bill Gates. I don't give them any particular merit. Like, I say what someone has done, and they would just say that's probably that when it's not. Yeah, that sentence didn't make any sense to me. You're going to have to rewrite your sentences so that they're cogent and I can understand what you're saying. Narcissists will triangulate other people into the relationship to get a rise out of you. Okay. I kind of want to now, you guys. Oh, I have my work laptop. I can show you my favorite train. I was told I was being controlling when I stopped her from going out at 3 a.m. to catch Pokemon. She was pregnant. Why don't you just go with her? Nothing wrong with a pregnant woman who wants to run around catching Pokemon. Do you know Kevin Samuels? And if so, do you like his I do not know Kevin Samuels. $300 in petrol each week. Oh, to catch Pokemon? Oh, okay. Well, that's a different situation. Yeah, that I would be like, yeah, we're not doing that. I know. You're a silly boy. I can hear you. How can you help someone get over jealousy? By creating security, by helping them to create a sense of confidence in themselves and security in the relationship. Save image as desktop to save. There we go. Okay, that's my favorite engine. This is the PRR, the Pennsylvania Railroad Q2. It is a very unusual make of engine. As you can see, it has 4 drive wheels here, but 6 here. It was a very, very late model steam engine. The Pennsylvania Railroad was typically considered to be a very conservative railroad. But after, as the war in the end of the years of steam, they started to experiment with kind of new and weird engines. They made the first steam turbine engine. And just to find more efficiency. Based on experience with my ex, jealousy is a huge red flag. Well, it can be. A tiny little bit of jealousy is actually healthy. It means that they consider you to be very desirable by others. A lot of jealousy is out of hand. There we go. This is one of my other favorites. Very rare. It was a one-off engine. So this one, you can see it doesn't have the pistons and rods. It just has this big pipe. Oops, shit. It just has this big pipe. This is actually a turbine engine as opposed to pistons that go back and forth. This big pipe blows through a turbine for these connected wheels to run. That's one of my favorites. That's a weird, yeah. Oh yeah, the geared locomotives in the logging industry were really interested. My favorite of the geared locomotives is called a climax style. What if a friend is jealous? What should you do? They never admit they are jealous. What are they jealous of? What does it mean to say a friend is jealous? What does that mean? Sam, I think I climb ravines. Yeah, you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about the angled engines that have like their boilers like this and they're out of steam. That wasn't so much in the Pacific Northwest, but they did have what were called Shea and Climax. Oh, and I forgot the other one. It actually had like a V shape to the pistons. Trying to brainwash me and the person they want me to be, not what yeah. Plan on keeping your content focused on relationship advice and social discussions. I don't have a plan. I did not expect this to blow up like it did. So I don't really have a plan. I like to talk. I would like to talk about steam engines and anthropology. A lot of people ask about things like gaslighting. Because everybody seemed to wanted it, I started writing a book on what I believe to be how people should embrace masculinity in the modern age. I'm about 20 pages into it right now. If that takes off, then I will probably write more books on my thoughts and ideas. Why men are so scared of women. I think it's an evolutionary thing. I would suggest that men aren't scared of women. Men are scared of not being selected for. In Haguey in Washington. Yeah, the geared locomotives. There's probably Shays and Climaxes. Once upon a time, the caveman developed a coconut powertrain. Anthropology, so I don't have to. Anthropology is the study of mankind. That was my primary degree. It is broken into several subsets. The first subset is physical anthropology, which is mostly about the skeletal morphology and the evolution of humankind from the common ancestor when we broke up from the other primates. So this gets you into Australopithecine and Homo habilis and so forth up through modern man. Cultural anthropology, which is the study of the development of humans in large groups and how humans relate to each other. Primatology, which is the study of the closest human relatives, which are chimps, gorillas, and orangutans. And linguistics, which is the study of how humans communicate. And archaeology, which is the study of the things humans make. And talk this out of a final. I also studied and was professionally trained a lot in psychology. So I both studied psychology for psychology's sake, and then I started studying psychology from an anthropological perspective. Is some form of violence normal in masculinity? Absolutely. So anthropology, simply put, is the study of mankind. Whereas psychology is the study of humans from an individual and small group interrelation perspective, and sociology is the study of the intangible creations of man, which literally means it's a study of nothing. Anthropology is the study of the origins of man through the modern times. An interesting cross-section of for how can I make friends? An interesting cross section of psychology and anthropology would be something like psychology diagnoses adolescent depression. You get a 17-year-old and you diagnose this 17-year-old with adolescent depression, and you start prescribing psychopharma medication in order to treat their depression. An anthropologist might point out that there are cultures that do not recognize adolescence as a life state. That when a woman gets her menses, she becomes a woman and she doesn't go through adolescence. When a boy reaches, say, 10 years old, he's sent out in the woods for 6 days to live on his own. And when he comes back, he is a man. They never experience adolescence, and they never experience adolescent depression. So what are you actually just prescribing a medication for if it is an illness or a mental state that is entirely based on our perception of a life state that doesn't necessarily exist? Yeah, I can do model trains. Hold on. Boy, this is going to be a little rough. Let me try that. Okay. Now, somebody asked, how can I make friends? My first suggestion is that realize that a lot of people actually have trouble as they grow older, and we don't have the social structures like high school, making friends. Okay, so put you guys over there. So this is my little model rail. There we go. I sit here and I put my crazy glasses on because these are tiny, tiny little boxcars and shit. As you can see, I have to, I put these little grab irons and all these little ribs and all that shit on. All the brake piping, you can kind of see the little brass wire brake piping in there. So these, you know, building several. These will be a couple of box cars, and then I'm going to start working on a gondola as I build them, and then I will airbrush them into pretty colors and put decals and so forth on them, and then they will go on the eventual railroad. But that's, yeah, that's, you know, what I do for some of my fun when I'm you know, seeking those kind of tranquil times and down times. I go to the gym pretty much every day. I get off of, I finish whatever I'm doing for work. I go, I find, and I come home, and sometimes when I want to be more tranquil, I will come in here and I will build my models and I watch TV, and I just kind of zone out. But anyway, there's my little hobby. These are resin kits, as opposed to the styrene stuff that most model airplanes and tanks and so forth are made out of, that you might be more familiar with. Resin has to be glued together with super glue, so you end up gluing your fingers together a lot. This is a thing. Yeah, anyway, that's my thing. It's very old man kind of hobby, but I like it. Do I have a favorite show? Not as such. I have a lot. I really like movies, like more than most people like movies. Right now, I am rewatching Doctor Who, and they just got to Capaldi, so I'm a couple of years behind in the seasons. I liked Game of Thrones. I liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Farscape, Firefly, Friends. I don't know, lots of stuff. What kind of guns do I like? Depends on what I'm doing with them. Obviously I was very well trained on things like an AR and an M40. So that is what I would, you know, use as a go-to for kind of a tactical situation. I favor Berettas because I would kind of grew up on Berettas, so to speak. My father, you know, he owned an M9. So it just kind of stuck, and I like them. I like Smith & Wesson revolvers. I've been hankering for a Henry 357 lever gun. I kind of want a cowboy action setup, although I want to cheat a little bit. There's a company called Chiappa that made a 3-barrel 12 gauge that I think is pretty neat. And a company called Uberti that makes a Schofield revolver. I'd like to get a couple just to set up like that. I have a couple of 45s, you know, that kind of thing. How I Met Your Mother. You know, I liked that for a long time. I found it funny. It has a lot of funny situational comedy. What I found, though, is I don't like any of the characters. Like, I actually don't like them. They are ridiculously self-centered, neurotic, annoying, and you can see funny. And I know that's caricatures, or I think it is. You know, that the writing creates those people, and these are just actors creating personas. But I found that I could not enjoy those people. That I was like, I don't like any of these people. Hi, Eddie. Guys, my phone is down to 10%. I just realized my phone is dying here. So I'm going to get off. And off of the lives here. I hope that you guys will join me on the YouTube so that if I get banned on TikTok, we can just carry on talking on the YouTube. I really enjoy having you guys and spending this time with you. I know there were some of you that had some questions. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said, how do I make friends? Are you still here? The guy who asked, how do I make friends? It didn't really get to that. Somebody had asked about the model things, and I went into that. Every time I join, you leave. Well, Eddie, you got to get here at the right times, man. I've been on for an hour and some. Did the person that asked, how do I make friends, are they still here? Does it feel like that's actually a bigger problem? As we have grown into adults, a lot of people have found it difficult to make friendships, to make bonding friendships, and to make groups of friends. Sometimes we feel like a lot of people have more friends than we do. But when I moved here, there's a Facebook page that has to deal with recommend a book before the How to Lie with Statistics. Seems very relevant today. And it's in my link tree. Just go to my link tree, How to Lie with Statistics. It's a quick read. It's like a 200-page book, and it'll really open your eyes. To make friends, it seems like the biggest thing that stands in people's way of making friends is themselves. And by that, I mean, everybody is waiting for everybody else to walk up to them. And everybody has this kind of inherent feeling, because we're not actually narcissists, and fear of not being liked, so they don't make a move. And what I have found, if I just walk up to people and smile and say, hi, I'm Matt, what are you doing? They're taken aback for a moment because they're so unused to someone being forward, but they actually very much appreciate that someone else took the step that they were afraid to take, and that almost automatically is endearing to them. Ask people to talk about themselves without being an interrogation. So when people share, I find a 2-to-1 ratio. So what do you do? Somebody does blah, 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 blah. Really? How'd you get into that? They go blah, 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 right? Really listening to that. And you say, that's cool. I'm in manufacturing. I do specialty chemicals and blah, blah, blah. Too many people want to be my friend. Tell them about yourself so it doesn't feel like an interrogation. There's a couple of interrogation techniques, though, that really work. One of them is mirroring. So somebody says, I'm a car salesman. I work for Mercedes there. You sell Mercedes? Yeah, I got into sales, when I was da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you go into labeling, you say, it sounds like that's something that really called to you. Yeah, I really do enjoy my work. I get to talk to people a lot. I get to engage with them. Another labeling line. So it really seems like you're kind of a people person. You're open, you're gregarious, and you would like that engagement. They're like, yeah, I really feel. See how I kind of worked a compliment into there? And you will find that people just right open, and they talk to you, and they really enjoy speaking to you. I have actually gone on an interrogation training where they said, pick an event, and I went to my ex-wife used to sing. And she was doing a rehearsal, and she volunteered me to be the stage manager. So I was going to spend the full weekend with a whole bunch of singers and dancers and shit. And they said, practice this. So I just practiced the whole weekend, just mirroring and labeling, which means saying the last 3 words that they had said, and every few sentences saying something. So it sounds like da 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 da. And all these people were coming up to my ex like, oh my God, he's so wonderful. He's all da 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 da. And she's like, I love my husband, but he's the most abrasive fuck in the whole world. What are you talking about? It's amazing. It's a technique. So if you're having trouble making friends, first thing I say is break the ice for them, because they're scared too as well. Approach them and just start talking to them. Ask them a couple of things. Tell them, do a 2-to-1 ratio of 2 things that they are talking about and 1 thing that yours. Do a lot of mirroring. If they're just opening up and talking, then just do the mirroring and labeling, because obviously they don't feel like it's an interrogation. If we're getting to a point where they're kind of slowing down, tell them a couple of things about yourself, because now they're kind of like, oh, they're kind of engaged. And then make the move to say, you know what, it was really great to meet you. You want to get coffee or something sometime? And if they feel a little unsettled, that's normal. You might even just say, I'm just looking to make, some friends, and you seem like guys, I just walked up and talked to you. Maybe you'd like to go shoot some pool or something sometime? And they'd be like, yeah, okay. Get their number, follow up in a day, just be like, hey, this is me. I was thinking, if you're open this weekend, there's a pool place over there. I don't even know if you like pool. It was just, the thing I was doing. Does anyone I actually prefer not having a lot of friends. I have a select few number of friends that I enjoy. One of my best friends, I don't know if he's still on here. He and his wife were on here for a moment, teasing me about that Jar Jar Binks thing. He might have left. I very much reserve my really intimate friends to a small number of people, because these are people that have seen me through some really shit times. And I mean, my friends are people that I trust implicitly with my life, with the life of children that I would have, or they trust me with their life of their children. And that's their, kind of ride or die family. I have a large number of friendly acquaintances that I wouldn't mind being friends. I'm not making any particular overtures to do so, because I'm kind of busy and such. But I also feel that it's very important as a man to be available to anyone that needs me. Now, that can be, that I have very firm boundaries, so I don't really get taken advantage of. But I do get called, fairly consistently. Hey, man, like a friend of mine asked me to make a staircase thing for her pet dog that's getting older to get on the bed. I'll make that this weekend. I got no problem with that. That doesn't, cross a boundary. I like being there to help people out. You just have to establish your boundaries so that you're not taken advantage of. But I also think that men have a position in society to lead by example, to show the best of ourselves, and to encourage other people to show the best of themselves. And I think we best do that by serving our community, by leading through service. And if that makes any sense, sometimes it's a hard thing for people to get through, but I volunteer for a couple of organizations, right? I teach kids to read. I do some disaster response stuff. I try to serve my broader community, and through that service, I found. Well, thank you, Alex. I believe that men really do. They both find meaning and joy in service, and they have a moral obligation to make the world a better place by both serving and, through serving, leading the world to a better place. And what I have found, if it matters, and it doesn't matter much to me, but many men think a lot about how women will respond to things. And if that is a meaningful thing to you, most women find it very attractive when you are a man who leads, who benefits his community, and has you don't have to be nice. I'm not a terribly nice person, but I try to be a kind person. I try to find people to lift the downtrodden, to help, to support the weak, the sick, to find ways to reach out to those who are less fortunate than I am. And if I happen to be kind of an abrasive ass while I'm doing it, that's okay with me. That's just who I am. I might be, mocking you for being a wiener, but I'm going to find a way to, like I'm in the rescue services. That's what I do. I need advice. Okay, so Lexi, well, I'm about to get off. So ask your advice very quickly. My father died when I was 14 too, Carlos, so I feel you. Ask your advice. So Lexi 301, I'm getting off very quickly. My phone is down to 6%. I don't have, so tell me what you need and I will, or you can message me if you like, if you want to type it out. All green to me. User 83107460769. How to get over a girl. There is no advice for that, brother. Girl's going to break your heart. You just move through that pain. Take up girls when you go through a breakup and you are hurt. What you will find is you go back and think a lot about the relationship. Now, some level of reflection is healthy to ask yourself, what decisions did I make that got us into a breakup, or what decisions did I make that got me with somebody who eventually broke my heart? Those are healthy. But an unhealthy number, if you find yourself talking to her in your head obsessively, arguing with her in your head, thinking about calling her, these are unhealthy reflex thought circles. And I actually made a video about this. So if you lose me because my phone goes dead, go find that video. It's only like 3 back from it was made today. But when you find that you have unhealthy obsessive thought patterns, which are very, very normal, that's how human beings work. You set up a program in your brain, it just runs without you. Think about what you want to prioritize in your life. That's a good thing. If you want yourself to be stronger, braver, happier, create a mantra, something short and simple that embraces that idealism. Only joy today. And when you're driving down the street and you start thinking in your head about this girl and you're going in circles, start thinking to yourself, replace that thought circle with only joy today. Physically interrupted in your brain. I'm not going to think that. Only joy today. Only joy today. No other thoughts. Only joy today. Only joy today. Battery down to 5%. You will find that will help you break the cycles of obsession that end up, in the middle of the night with you sitting around feeling miserable about where you are. Funny Millionaires is a nut bag. I did her a few times. People keep tagging me in her videos, but she's a soft target because she's so fucking full of shit that it's not even fun anymore. Okay, guys, I'm really going to go. I hope that last bit was useful. I would love to see you all again. I will continue to do this double as much as I can until I get banned. And we'll see where that goes. But I hope all of you have a wonderful evening. And thank you very much for joining me.